The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
Go ahead, it's your time, baby. It's your time, baby. Get wild, baby. That's the difference when you're my baby. That's how it is when you're sitting on top of the world, top of the world, top of the world, top of the world. That really make me stop the world. Top of the world, top of the world, top of the world. Feel my thug passion. Give you what you asked for. So tell me if you want action. Until the lights back on. I got the one we could last long. And I never knew my chance. Feel like we're waiting for night long. I pull up in my fashion. Every life flashing anyway. We can go ahead and just head out and chill up in my villa together the whole night. Just get in the drop top, take the head out and cruise with your head outside. Go ahead, it's your time, baby. It's your time, baby. Get wild, baby. That's the difference when you're my baby. That's how it is when you're sitting on top of the world, top of the world, top of the world, top of the world. Nobody make me stop the world. Top of the world, top of the world, top of the world. Tell me what do we do when these people don't know what you've been through? You survive through the night, through the darkness.
Hi. Welcome to Naya at Night. I am your lovely host, Naya. And every other Saturday, I'm going to be coming live from LA with different guests, speaking the hottest trends, what's going on, and just what's the word around LA. So today I have my roommate / my friend Ashley Broom in the building. Hi Ashley. And before we begin, I have some shout outs to do. So one, I just want to shout out Faye for, making this show happen today. It was like a lot that went into this. So I'm really proud to be able to have my own platform. I also want to give a shout out to this man named Emmett. He is the one that vouched for me to Faye about me wanting to be having a late night talk show. And it's really important that you have people in the background supporting you, being a voice for you, and letting people know oh, I actually know somebody that, you're looking for somebody, I have somebody in mind. So big shout out to Emmett. And then honestly, I post this on my Facebook, and the amount of support that I got from my family and friends, I 100% appreciate that too. So I want to say that I know who's shooting in the gym with me right now. I know who's sharing my stuff right now. So when I get on top of the world, I'm gonna know. But we're gonna get into it. So I really want to start off by just talking about the support that I have in my life and what that looked like. And you, once we first met, I think it was really crazy because our first conversation, we were on the phone for 3 hours.
Trying
to see if I was a good match.
Y'all,
for the
she thought I
house.
was a scam. Her fam thought I was a scam.
The Facebook ad looked way too promising. Y'all know, Facebook, you just don't know. So our first time talking, it was an instant connection, and we've since then supported each other whenever it is. If we have an event, if we know somebody that we can connect each other to, it really means a lot to me. So I also want to thank you because she actually connected me with this dude last week. So and we're gonna see what comes out of that. But what does support look like in your life?
We were just talking about it, right? And so for me, a lot of people, I feel like when they make it or they're doing something successful, they talk about all these haters that was hating on them. And I've heard the whole saying if you don't have haters, you ain't doing it right. But for me, I'm just I don't know, I think I'm a good person to be around. So it's one, why would you hate? And why would you even want haters? I don't know. But for me, I feel like I have always had a pretty good support system. And then anything that I've ever wanted to do, I've always had someone that's go for it. I've never had anyone try to tell me or limit me or anything like that.
That's amazing. And I want to ask you, what is the difference from the support of Ashley Broom and then her alter ego Sweeps? I want to know, Do you feel like one is more supported or get more support than the other, or do you think it's like the same amount of support?
You know, it's kind of funny because so like where sweeps came from, like just my last name. My last name is Broom, and I did get picked on growing up with just like my last name. I never thought it was cool, but obviously as you get older, you kind of start appreciating things a lot more, and that was one of them because my first name is so common, but my last name is not. And, you know, I wanted to be like the YouTube vlogger and just a model and stuff like that. So obviously you look at branding and marketing, and I went to school for that, you know, undergrad. And it was really important to differentiate yourself with branding and other people and other influencers. And so that's kind of where Sweeps Corner came from, because it's like, that's my YouTube name, y'all. You know, that's my little YouTube
Get your
vlogging
little shout
out. And yeah, I kind of stuck with it, and ever since I moved out here, like I have a lot of people that call me by like Sweeps. But Ashley Broom is like Ashley Broom, the realtor.
Yeah,
it's like the professional. But like my street name, or just, you know, when I'm out and about, is either AB, Ashley, or Sweeps.
Ooh,
Yeah.
So we have like an alter ego, like
yeah.
My clients know me as Ashley Broom, but my friends call me Sweeps.
Yeah. Or they say Ashley, you know. Ashley's pretty.
Good. Well, I want to know, like, what brought you out here? Tell us, like, your story, because, you know, everybody dream about coming to LA. Everybody wants LA to work. How did you make LA work for you?
LA, you know, I actually did a flip. You know, I came out here initially to, you know, be a part of the entertainment industry, and I'm still a part of it, but I'm not nearly as involved as I used to be when I first moved out here. One, because I was a full-time grad student. School is what brought me out here, and my career is what's keeping me here.
Let's say that again. Come on, girl.
Yeah, my career is what's keeping me here. But I was doing like casting, and I was doing like I was like a casting agent. I was doing like events and stuff like that. I was working for a couple companies. I was even doing I was interning for like a artist management company. So I was doing a lot of behind the scenes, trying to work my way in front. I've been in a couple videos, models, stuff like that. But then COVID happened, right?
Girl,
COVID messed up some things.
COVID was horrible. COVID was horrible, but nice, cause like not having to work, but getting like money that I wouldn't get, you know, anytime. I don't know who else was on that unemployment train.
I was definitely getting money. I ain't gonna hold you.
That unemployment train. What? I wish that it was just gonna keep
on going. That's like the one time you can get away with like finessing the government and no one's judging you for it.
Yeah, and let me tell you, everybody who did the PPP loan and skated, I have like a little hatred in my heart, because it's like I didn't do it because I thought that
I did it.
You did
But I did the second one. See, a lot of people didn't know that the second one that came out was for independent contractors. The first one wasn't.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of people that got in trouble was for the first one,
okay,
because everyone was saying they were a business and they weren't. But if you did the second one that came out and you applied as an independent contractor, which I was, because I was doing a lot of independent work and bartending and stuff like that, I was able to apply. And I got it.
Okay.
But yeah, girl, you should have take advantage.
Well, no, because I wasn't.
Scam money don't make no money. Look,
listen, I gotta get my stuff to legal.
No.
I gotta get out the mud.
You gotta know how. You gotta read though. Like, don't listen to the hype. You gotta read. You gotta like learn your resources. You feel me?
I am the type to just agree to the terms and conditions. Like,
yeah, no.
Click,
you gotta know what you're doing. You gotta read or be around people that are knowledgeable on what's going on. Obviously, you kind of know which friends be doing the scam and stuff and which friends don't. So, no, I did it the right way.
We should be like, is this a scam? Or like,
no, because everyone's gonna say no, it ain't a scam. Like, a lot of people were scamming. I have friends that were scamming. Don't get it twisted. Like,
oh man,
they were scamming, and it was crazy.
It was crazy. It was a time to be alive, though.
It was. I had a great time. And LA, it wasn't even LA. Like, I had I was back and forth a lot. As a matter of fact, I was, because flights were cheap.
Right,
flights were cheap. So and Texas was open, so I was going back and forth between here and Texas a lot. So, yeah, because LA was shut down for like 2 years.
It was horrible.
You couldn't do anything out here.
I came for my birthday and couldn't do anything.
No, people was coming out here. I'm like, well, there's nothing to do.
That's horrible. Okay,
clubs were shutting down. Like,
yeah. So you said that you moved out here for school. What did you study?
I did grad school and I graduated 2020,
Period.
y'all.
Yeah.
I did graduate.
Because we don't go, we graduate.
I finished.
Yeah.
I finished. I wonder why I was here, but I definitely finished. But I studied business. It was business and entrepreneurship and innovation. So it was a lot about venture capitalists, fundraising, just learning how to build a business and how to fundraise and get money for whatever business that you want. And I went to USC, and yeah, it was a great learning experience. I mean, and it was just hard mentally. I mean, grad school is not for everybody. School, period, is not for everybody. Let me just start with that. School is not for everybody, and I mean, I'm not going to tell you what to do and what not to do, but I think I would have done school a lot differently.
How so?
Like, I jumped around a lot. And I don't think a lot of people know this, but I was so desperate to get out of my town. And so I took, like, whatever school that would accept me that was out of town.
Yeah.
And, girl, anybody that know me know this town does not fit my personality. So I went to Stillwater, Oklahoma State University.
Girl.
Exactly. What is Stillwater? What is Stillwater?
What is it?
Girl,
Where is it?
It was a small racist town. I hated it. The first year was cool. I got myself involved in a lot of programs. You know, I ran for like a pageant and won that.
Oh,
and
nice.
I stayed because of that. I was like Miss Black and Gold there. But after the second year, like after I gave my crown away, I was out.
Yeah.
I transferred out so freaking fast.
You did that reign and then you ran.
Girl, what? I left.
Yeah.
And I never looked back. I stayed, home for a little bit, and then I transferred out to California. I was in the Bay for a little bit, so San Jose State. And I finished there, came back home, and then I did grad school. And that's what brought me out here, yeah.
I think that is a good segue to our first segment, which is Sleepless Secrets. And this is for you guys that's not here in the studio with us. Sleepless Secrets is a time where me and my guests, we share insight that we feel like a lot of people don't know. And we're here to help educate and inform our audience a little better. So our Sleepless Secret today is actually about where to go to college and making sure wherever you go, you can benefit from the city, town, state that you're in. So I went to school in Houston. I went to Texas Southern University, and I felt like, because I had a conversation with Ashley about what she wanted her Sleepless Secret to be. And the thing about it is, when I went off to college, I didn't think about location. Like, it played a part because I wanted to be somewhere that was hot all year round, and I wanted to go to a school, for real, because when you're from Michigan...
that's not important.
Yeah, no. When you're from Michigan, it's important. Like, when your winter is like 8 months out to 12, you definitely want to be around some heat. Okay. I chose my school based off of, weather. And I wanted to go to an HBCU, so I wanted to, because I went to 2 PWIs before in Michigan. So I wanted to go somewhere where people looked like me, that was goal-oriented like me, and wanted to change. So I think that I did that.
If you, that's a secret right there.
Yeah, that is a secret.
We're flourishing right now. HBCUs right now, I really feel like are flourishing.
They are.
And if you're, if you're black or whatever, like, I feel like you should experience that. You only get once. You only get one time. You know?
Do.
I mean, you could go to grad school, but grad school is completely different than undergrad.
Yeah, and the thing about like HBCUs is that, I feel like that I'm black, right? But
I'm black. Look, I'm black. I'm black. Yeah.
But when I say I didn't have no rhythm, I didn't have
okay, girl.
I didn't know the movies. My HBCU really put me on. So, but
where you from again? Where you grow up from?
I'm from Benton Harbor, Michigan. I rep my city, but what's Michigan? I be telling people Michigan is very beautiful because we experience all 4 seasons, but it's I don't know what else I don't really think that you can get a bang for your buck there. But I moved to Houston only for school, and I knew once I was done with school that I was not going to stay in Houston.
Okay.
And
how do you feel about that now? Because that's
right.
Do you feel like you've benefited? Well,
that, and that's why I think that
and LA, they actually go back and forth a lot. So
people go back and forth a lot, but I don't know why. But but now looking back at it, I think I probably would have done things differently because I did make a lot of connections back in Houston. I networked with a lot of different people that I am still currently in contact with. But honestly, it wasn't until the month that I moved here, where I started to get all the phone calls. Like Disney hit me up, KHOU hit me up. Like a lot of these businesses was starting to hit me up based off my recommendations. But I'm like, I'm going to LA. I'm out. Like,
so they was hitting you up in Houston.
Yeah, they was hitting me up
exactly.
in Houston, and that is where really like my sense of network is.
Yep.
So when I came out here to LA, it's like starting from the bottom. Like the only network that I had was the HBCU group that I was a part of the previous summer, and then having family friends connect me with Faye and E. But other than this, really it. And like now, trying to get a job in this industry is really hard because people be like, it's who you know. I'm gonna tell you this. I know a lot of people.
No, it's about who you know.
It's about who you know, but it's also about the skill set that you have.
Yeah.
Because somebody can put that recommendation in for you, but if your skill set on paper don't match what they're looking for, that recommendation is nothing.
But it could also be the resume, because I could sit here. I mean, I've applied to so many jobs out here. It's just not easy.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to LA, I just feel like it really is about like who you know. Out here. Yeah. But like you said, you getting recommendations and stuff like that out in Houston. You're not in Houston no more. So, obviously you're not going to take that job unless it's remote. But even then, it's like you moved out to LA for a reason. Right. So, for me, that's one of the main things where I'm like, I think it's really important. I don't think a lot of kids come, not to call you guys kids, but students coming out of high school going into college really consider like, hey, do I at least plan on being here for the next 2 years? Right. After I graduate, and am I going to graduate here? Like, do I really like this? Really like step foot on that campus, see if you can see yourself, see the surrounding area. Can you see yourself living like, unless it's, especially if you're not on a scholarship. See, I barely had scholarship.
I didn't have scholarship.
So you spending all this money.
I didn't have scholarship.
I didn't either. So you spending all this money all to not even be in the city. I barely talk to any of the people from San Jose. I got maybe a couple. And that's cool. But ever since coming out here, like when I went to grad school out here, like it was a complete difference. Mind you, I'm still limited because grad school, you go on to camp. First of all, my classes was at night. My classes were at night. And so you're in and out. Right. You don't meet that many people.
You don't get to socialize.
But I was, and I shout out to honestly my girl group. They know who they are. My USC girl group. Like, I love my class, my cohort, because they made a very diverse cohort. And so I was able to get 5 solid Black African-American, successful girlfriends out of that. And we've honestly been like this since day one. Yeah. And it's really cool because it's like, if it wasn't for them, I probably wouldn't have known the people that I know now. And my network has grown tremendously. Oh, nice. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and from there, like obviously working, bartending, stuff like that, like I've really grown my network. But I'm able to maximize my network now because I decided that I'm going to live here.
So do you think, like, because we hear like USC is such a gold mine here in LA, when people say USC, it's like,
is it a thing? It's a thing, girl.
It is.
I didn't know. Honestly, y'all want to know something? I did not want to go to grad school. But I felt, because I moved back after undergrad, I felt so stuck in Dallas. I was like in this relationship. Ooh. I wanted out. I just wanted out. I was not happy. I was back at home with my mom, and that is a whole other story. So it's like, I was just ready to leave. I was desperate, and I felt like I wasn't getting any jobs even back home. So I was like, forget it. Like, I just decided to apply, and I only applied to one school, which was USC. And just kind of like put all eggs in one basket. Yeah. And I got in. So I cried like a baby too. Because they took forever. They took forever. And I had 1 month to move. And I had to pack pretty much 2 suitcases. And I didn't have housing. And then they find like a student housing ended up opening up, just one. And I made it in. Yeah.
It's so amazing, like when God just like
I didn't have a car. I ain't had nothing.
When God opened doors for you, you gotta be like, man, this is like, it gotta work out.
Girl, it has to when I tell you, it was the smallest thing, like I said. And I thought I was moving out here with scholarship money too. And when I got here, I didn't. My benefits actually ended up, I used it at my other school, and I didn't know that. So then I almost thought I had to drop out. Yeah. Girl, it was a lot.
It was blessings on blessings. So how, like, choosing USC, we're talking about like choosing the school where you can benefit from the location. So how have, you choosing USC benefit you from living out here?
The network. honestly, anytime, I mean, I don't just brag about it, obviously, but if anyone asks me, like, what school did you go to, I don't even say undergrad anymore because I have a higher up education. And so I tell people I went to USC. Excuse me. And a lot of people are like, oh. Like, they it's weird. Like, they go
like
from
an elite
this,
club.
and they be like, oh.
It's like an elite club if
Congrats.
you go to, like, USC.
And when I tell you, I took this for granted because there's so many people that like, oh, that's my dream school, and here I am, I'm just like, I just used it to get out here, you know, like just willy-nilly and not thinking I was actually gonna get in. I got in, and I didn't realize how much it meant to me, and I didn't realize how much it really meant to me until I got on campus too, and how much it really does do for you, and you know, and just the name itself, it carries. It is a pretty big network.
That reminded me of that.
Sweetie be repping like crazy. It's for a reason. We came from the same program.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah, same professors.
You saying that reminded me of that little Uzi meme when he was like, "This only my third day out here."
Girl, when I tell you, it was a mess.
Here,
like, it was a mess when I came out here. I cried all the time. Every night I was probably crying.
Yeah.
When I first came out, it was hard. If you're trying to come to LA and you're not from here, it's a transition for sure. It is.
It's very hard.
It's a transition. They say, you know, just friends that when I first came out here, they say, you know, it takes at least 5 years to kind of like really like plant your feet. 2 years to really get settled, and then 5 years it's like, okay, you really getting the hang of things.
I believe it. I definitely believe it because
I'm on my 5th year.
I'm on year 1, y'all, and the water.
We be having some conversations. She be crying. She be like,
I be having a pity party once a month. Like honestly, I be getting like 10 rejections every month, and I don't know why I'm here.
I'm like, girl, just keep going.
I'm finna move back home.
You gonna figure it out.
Where is home? Don't have one. Like I don't know.
Where would I go next?
But like,
and that's another thing. You come out here, you know, it's gonna beat you up and spit you out. You either sink or swim here. So it's like
for real.
Between here and New York, and that was like another city that I thought about moving to because I like to be challenged. And so.
And it's definitely a challenge.
It's a challenge.
It's definitely a challenge. Like, it's not made for the weak. This is going to really teach you, like, if you want it, like, you have to go out there and get it.
So, and we move at such a rapid pace, too.
Yeah, like, you have no time. Like, every weekend, I'd be like,
mature a lot.
Yeah.
I've matured
every weekend, I'd be like, I'm going to sit down, and then I'm out. I'm going to sit down, then I'm out.
Because you never know who you're going to meet.
Exactly. So that's why, like, you have to be out. So how about, like, to just, like, wrap up this segment, what is the secret that you want people to take away?
Like I said, my secret is, you know, especially if you plan on taking the college route, like make sure that you know that you want to stay there at least a year or two, because that's how you really expand on your network. Because if you're trying to get out immediately, you're really not going to tap, like, it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind, right? So you're really not going to tap into your network as much as you could in an area that you already living in. And so, like I said, I didn't realize, it took me several years to realize that, you know what I mean, of just being in school. And I went back to back. So like just being in school and jumping from school to school, it took me to go to grad school to realize and know that I'm staying in that city to really realize like, oh, I could have made this a lot easier for myself.
He definitely.
I should have just went here first, right? You know, like
why did I not think of this the first time?
I mean, I wanted to, but you know, I didn't think it was possible. And that's another thing. Believe that it is possible, because it is.
It definitely is. Like, and that's my secret is that, you know, whatever you do, if you are going to take the school route, make sure, like, not only are you benefiting from the location, but you're going to school for something that you want to do. Like, don't go to school.
Don't listen to your parents.
Yes, do not listen to your parents.
Don't try to please your parents.
Like, do not. Like, and I am marking that. Like, because it's going into our next segment. And honestly, we really just not even have to stop pleasing our parents, but everybody. Like, please yourself. Put yourself first, because that's all that matters. But ooh, our parents, girl, like, it's time for late night connections. It's time for late night connections. So here we are talking about with late night connections. This is where we give out some life lessons, our personal struggles. Like, we're just connecting on a different level, y'all. And today, late night connections is all about forgiving our parents, which once we was planning this show, I was like, oh, that's not a thing in the Black community. We just move on. So I think it's
sweep it under the rug.
I think it's like
sweep it under the rug.
Yeah. So one thing that I want to get into is daddy issues. Right?
I ain't got daddy issues.
You know, I do. And it wasn't until I looked up what daddy issues were to understand that I had them. So the definition of daddy issues, just to put it out there, daddy issues is generally a catchphrase often used to refer to women who have complex, confusing, or dysfunctional relationships with men. Yikes. So like that is me. That is definitely me. But we are going to take a break real quick. We have to do like a little sponsor shout out, and then we'll be back in 5 minutes.
My shea butter, cinnamon, work of art, perfect time, but not again. Baby news, take my money, only you haven't seen, elegant. Baby, tell me where the hell you been. All my life, I got you now. Ooh, stick around. I'm lucky, 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 baby.
Just wanna love you for my whole life. Do it for you, I'ma make time. I wanna kick it until midnight, just to be with you till the sunrise. I think you're making me crazy. Put my heart up on the main line. I got this trust for you. Got it 'cause I know what you like. I love you. Good and bad, thick and thin, flaws.
Welcome back to Night. I'm your host Naya, and I have my lovely guest Ashley in the studio with me. And before break, we were discussing forgiving our parents and getting into daddy issues, and me finding out that I have them. So
I don't.
Let's go through like some of the symptoms and see like if anybody
Look,
can
put your
relate.
hand up. Look.
Right, put a finger down if this is you.
down and this you.
Okay, number one, you're very possessive and clingy.
Nah.
Number two, you demand an overabundance of love and assurance. That's definitely.
It would be nice, but I don't demand it.
Number three, you want sex all the time. Number four, this is the one for me that like really was like, oh, I have them. Number four, you're only interested in dating older men. Number five, you're afraid of being alone. And number six, you repeatedly choose to be with an abusive man. So let's like get into that. So I am really possessive and clingy. Like, you know, I've only been talking to like my little boo for like a month, and I be wanting to I be wanting to live in his skin. Like, I be wanting to go. I be over there all the time. Like, if you guys say, like, you're not even at home no more. Like, I am very clingy.
I mean, I think anybody, when you're in a honeymoon stage, like, of course you're going to want to be with your man more than the girls.
I don't even think it's the honeymoon, though. Like, I'm always in that state. Like, yeah, like, I don't think that there's ever,
I'd be like, all right, get away
switch.
from me. I don't even I like cuddling for, like, maybe, like, 10 seconds.
No, I want my man right here. If he could be right here right now,
I'd be like, I'm hot. Get off me.
I would want him to be right here right now, like, for real. And I think, like, I don't necessarily think I demand to be assured or, you know, like, loved, but I'm definitely looking for it. And, like, the thing about me is I be questioning, like, dang, do he really like me? Do he really like me? And then it's like the assurance comes, so I don't have to, like, demand it. But I do feel like that like, is borderline, you know.
I mean, I feel like, especially, like, men are kind of predictable, right? So if a man like you, he gonna let it be known.
I can't say that because men nowadays, I can't predict.
We talk about LA men.
I just can't predict them at all. Like, I'll be like, do you like me or no? Like, are you here for a good time? Like, a long time or a good time?
I mean, but that's a transparent conversation. You know, we grown, so it's like.
No, we are grown. What is grown? What is grown? Because a lot of people are not grown. Like, it's
a lot of people that's
grown
childish.
by our age, but not by our maturity. Like, let's say that. You want sex all the time. Me personally, I'm not really a hypersexual individual. So don't say you don't got daddy issues. If we
But what they gotta do with like dad? You get what I'm saying? Why? I'm a Scorpio, y'all.
So,
apparently we got. I'm gonna blame it on that.
It says you may believe that regular sexual intercourse will make your partner love you more.
I don't believe that. I just like sex.
And it says that you also might try to be using sex to build your self-esteem or to feel accomplished and good about yourself. That's the connection with the daddy issues. So I just want to get that connection. But this is the one that I resonate
can't validate
with.
that one that much.
Yeah,
the older one, dating older man, I could see that one though.
That's what we're getting into.
I did date an older man.
This is the one that I was like, this is me. Okay, so
my mama said I had daddy issues.
You're only interested in dating older men. I do like older men, but I didn't realize that was tied to like a daddy issue. It's just that these young cats.
I think it ties to a mature issue too, though. Like I'm a very mature person. Like,
right.
My mom's friends were my friends, so like I was 10, 12 years old being able to have full conversations with just some of my mom's friends that would like be, of course they ended up being like auntie or whatever. Right. But I was able to hold like a mature conversation all the time. Like
I think that like for me, I just like you teaching me something and you putting me on to something new and like
you like to learn.
I do.
See, I like to learn too.
Like my new boo, he is 12 years older than me, right? And
but that's not bad to me.
Cause what's older? What's old?
Right, what's older?
What's old?
Okay, you know what? I ain't gonna lie. I don't know what's old to some people. Now,
right. Cause 12 years ain't old to me.
Okay, my last relationship, my ex, he was old. He was old. He was a
whole
pawpaw. Granted, he lied about his age when we first met, okay?
Okay.
So, and because when we was talking, he was trying to get at me, and I was like, you're old. Like, I was literally telling him, I'm like, you're old. Like, nah, it ain't gonna happen. You got kids, da-da-da-da. And he's like, oh, my God, I'm only 45. Come to find out, he was actually 48, but we was already in a relationship. That like it kind of like it was like a oops. Like
let me find out you was.
He was twice my age, y'all. I'm 28. He was 48.
Let me find out that you was putting like what's the like little medicine thing that got the Monday through Sunday on there. Or let me find out that you was putting his pills.
No, I wasn't doing any of that. But he was definitely like
older. I mean, I like older men, and I would hope that my family accept them because if I come through to the family reunion pushing my man, make room. Make some room for him.
Girl, no. Like, I ain't pushing no. Look, but that's
too old.
I mean, yes. So he was the first one I've ever dated that old, and like I said, it wasn't even supposed to happen. It just kind of happened, because at first he was like, "It's just gonna be a fun thing," and so I was like, "Okay, I could do fun," like, and I thought we was on the same page because I'm like, I didn't want anything serious anyway, and so I was like, "Okay, cool, we on the same page," like, because I didn't plan on committing to him, and honestly, I kept that, and so I think after a while, like when we did start catching feelings, like we was cool and all. But honestly, like once things started settling in, I had to be real with him. And I told him, I'm like, look, I don't even want to be, because his kids were like almost my age. So I was like, I don't even want nothing to do with your kids. Like realistically.
That's so true.
That's true. I don't want to be a part. And
we can't relate.
It put things in perspective for me because honestly, this was last year when we were together. I was around his kids, not the young ones. I've been around his young ones a couple of times. Like,
oh my God, how many kids does he have?
Girl.
If it's more than 5, oh, okay. Because you talk about older, younger.
No, is it 3? 3 or 4?
Okay, but not 5. We don't got a whole solid hand.
No, he got 3 girls and a boy, and a little boy.
Oh, okay.
Now, I've been around a little boy a few times, but that's easy.
The girls are difficult.
Well, the girls are almost my age. So, especially one of them. So, I was like, when we were all together, he never acknowledged that I was there. It was never like, did you say hi to Ashley?
No, you was the kid.
Girl, I could be friends with the kid. So that's what really put things in perspective is one, I wasn't even acknowledged as his girl, and he was like, well, they know me, and I knew they knew me because he was like, my kids said that you were like trying to ignore them. I'm like, what? Like they knew I
don't
was.
want a relationship with your child. That's why like I like older men, but I don't like them with the kids. Like that's why I like the diamond in the rough.
Well, that's just baggage, right? Like you can have a 25-year-old that had 3 kids. So I think it was really just like the baggage, but also his age. He was very, very insecure for his age. Overall, a solid person. Like he held it down. He was probably one of the realest dudes I've ever met, and I think that's why we clicked. Yeah. He really held it down for me, and I will always like appreciate and respect him for that. But like he had anger issues, and he was very insecure, and because of that, I was always accused of like.
Can't you say that that's abusive though?
Yes, it was very verbally,
and that's number 6.
But he never physically.
Why you over here talking about that you don't got daddy issues? And that's number 6.
My mama said I had daddy issues. She was because I told her I'm a very transparent person. So my mom was like, you cannot bring him around.
Oh.
She did not want to meet him. But my dad was kind of cool. So that's another thing. Like my dad wasn't in my life growing up, y'all. But he's in my life now.
So how was that? Like because I have the same. Like my dad wasn't in my life growing up, but he's definitely in my life now.
Yeah.
So
it's a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing.
If you could forgive your father, if he
gosh.
wasn't there, you guys, it is probably the
best.
It's the best thing you could ever do for yourself. It's not even for
like him.
It's not for him.
Yeah,
it's for you.
Yeah,
it's for you.
Because I know, like with me, like my dad, like he's been in and out of jail my whole life, and I just could not like fathom the thought, like why can't you just get a 9-to-5 like the rest of us? Like why can't you do that? Why are you trying to get rich, quick schemes? And like it really took my older brother to sit me down and be like, listen, like he's sorry. He just wanted conversation. Like, and that was literally it. And I remember I wrote my dad like a 5-page letter, like cutting into him. And the thing that I think that helped us move into a different direction.
Too.
Yeah. What? Ooh, girl.
I did the same. Well, I didn't do a letter, but
the thing that helped us get to where we are today is that he acknowledged like my feelings, and he didn't try to dismiss them. He acknowledged them, apologized for them, and was like, how can we move forward? Yes. Exactly. Instead of being like, oh, I didn't do that. I didn't do that.
I have a question, because how does your mom feel about it? Because my mom gave me a hard time for forgiving my dad.
No, my mom is very supportive, and like it used to be a point where I tried to keep them separate, like, don't discuss my dad, don't discuss my mom with them.
I try to keep it separate.
But now I feel like we're in a good place. Like, I mean, like my dad would ask about my mom like quite often. I talked to him the other day, and he asked like how my mama was doing, and then my mom typically don't ask about my dad, but if it comes up in conversation, like, oh, I talked to my dad today, and then she'll be like, oh, how is he? So like, it's definitely in a better spot than what it was. But no, my mom is fully supportive of my relationship with my dad, and honestly, I think that my mom is the best because like me and my siblings, we all have different dads, but she never like threw child support on him, even though like his situation, and she
Meanwhile, my mom dragged me to court at 23. I'm like, yo.
Oh no, you too old.
Too old. Talk about back pay. I'm like, Ma. That's when my dad got cussed out though, but that's when things changed.
Yeah, and that's what it is. But honestly, so to transition to our moms, me and my mom have the most interesting relationship ever. Like starting off, once I became an adult, I feel like my mom did not respect me. I feel like that she only viewed me as a child. And I can't blame her because I was a child. Like, I was living on my own, but my grandparents...
You always gonna be mama's baby.
No, not like that, no. My grandparents were still paying my rent. They was paying for my groceries, my car insurance. Like, they took care of me. So what responsibilities that I have, I didn't have any. So when I told her that I was moving to Houston, she was like, girl, what? Like, no, you're not. And me and my mom, like, for like maybe like the first 5-6 months that I was out in Houston, we did not talk. Like, I literally talked to my mom maybe like once a month because she didn't support me. But the thing is, I never really like held that against her. Yeah. Because I was just like, this is my vision, and it's just not for you to understand. And it wasn't until like the year before I graduated when my mama like sat me down and actually told me how proud she was of me. Aww. And that was like such a big thing because that's all I wanted. Like when I moved to Houston, I didn't ask for no money. All I asked for was support. So to know like that was the only thing I wanted and I didn't get it, it was really hard.
At the time.
Yeah, at the time.
But you got it later.
I did. And I was really appreciative for it. I didn't be like, oh, now you want to join the team. Because that's how I'm going to be when Naya at night.
It do be like that sometimes.
When Naya at night pop
Keep
off.
Keep that same energy.
And people, I'm like, now you want to join the team. Now you want to be shooting in the gym with us. But that's how it was at graduation. Now you want to be shooting in the gym
moms. I feel like it takes moms a minute, right? Because like moms, I mean, they're the ones that raised you, especially if you're saying your dad wasn't in your life. Mm-hmm. They're just so used to having all this control. You get around, Like my mom was the same way. So, like she's still the same way. I think my mom has a really hard time just not having control, right? And so we bump heads all the time, all the time. We're bumping heads now. Right. We're not even on speaking terms, and it sucks. But it's like at some point, I got sick of. I had friends that would guilt trip me, talking about you only get
your mama.
Yeah, you only got one mom. It's
like
you only got one me.
Right.
You only got one me.
It's only one Zanaya, okay? Okay.
No, but it's like at what point is there a level of respect on both ends? You know, it's like I can only respect you so much before you really start crossing that boundary of disrespecting me and not see, like you said, not viewing me as an adult and still viewing me as a child. I haven't asked you for anything in years. As a matter of fact, you always come to me and ask me for stuff, and I'm, you get what I'm saying. So it's like, at what point are you going to respect me as an adult and know that I can take care of my own, plus you at times, and so I think that's where I had to really like draw the line and be like, okay, yeah, you're my mom, but I'm gonna have to love you from afar because you keep disrespecting me.
So I want to ask, what does creating a boundary look like with your parents, and how can you uphold that boundary?
It's
because
hard.
It is hard, but what is your way?
Right now I can't even. It's hard to speak on it right now because
it's an ongoing process.
It's an ongoing process for me. Now my sister kind of is going through the same thing that I'm going through now. My sister put her foot down a long time, like a couple years ago. My sister put her foot down when she had my niece.
Okay.
Right? But that makes sense because she's bringing a baby into this world. So there's only so many things that my mom can do now. And then not only that, my mom wants to see the baby.
Like, I'm mama now. So it's
yeah. So my mom wants to see the baby. So she's going to tread lightly if she wants to see her granddaughter, right?
Right.
So it's more of an incentive for her to let her guard down and be a little bit more respectful and
grandma. Be grandma.
Yeah, and then like when you're, what am I trying to say? She has a whole family now. She has other obligations and priorities, and so you kind of put things in perspective a little bit more. Whereas like I don't have kids right now, so. I think I was a lot more lenient with my mom, and so she was able to kind of take advantage of that more and more and more. And it took this year for me to put my foot down and be like, nah, like I'm out, you know. And so my boundary right now is just not speaking until she can come at me correct, apologize. And that's another thing. What we was talking about earlier is just sweeping things under the rug. Like, I got sick of sweeping things under the rug. Like, this time you're going to apologize.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I'm going to hold you to it.
And I think that's the boundary that I'm waiting on.
Yeah.
And until I get that, I really honestly don't have anything to say.
That's something that me and my mom had to work on because, that's what I'm saying.
We don't talk about it.
My dad is actually the biggest advocate for my mom just because he knows that she did everything by herself. So I'd be like, yeah, I called my mama out on da-da-da-da. And he'll be like, Naya, no parent wants their child to call them out on like every little thing that they do wrong. And then, he'll be like, she's human. She's bound to make mistakes. But I was like, I need her to see me as an adult because like it was a time where I was in Houston living on my own, buying my own groceries, paying my own rent, my car insurance, everything, Zanaya, and still maintaining like a 3.5 GPA, still getting all A's and B's, and it's like the respect still wasn't there, the thing. So I feel like the way how I learned to create my boundaries with my parents is to speak up on how I feel in that moment. I'm not letting it wait or nothing. We could be arguing and be like, what you said really hurt my feelings. And because I want you to acknowledge it in that moment. I'm not gonna let it. Yeah. I'm not gonna let it build up and fester 2 weeks later and call her like, hey, do you remember the conversation we had in the kitchen?
Yeah.
No. Right now, I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't like that. Yeah. But that's what I have to learn.
I've learned that though. It
would be times when we wouldn't even talk because my mom would be like, you're just too rude. Like, girl, and we're both go to my sister.
It gets real disrespectful when I feel disrespected.
Girl, what? Like, we both used to go to my sister Kayla like, I can't stand mama, I can't stand and Kayla used to be like, oh my gosh. But that's why I'm just so grateful now because I think it was my mom actually seeing me for an adult. I think it was me actually growing up to become an adult. And I think it was her just actually actually letting me be myself and accepting me for it. And I think that's why.
That's such a beautiful thing when it happens.
Yeah, we have a beautiful relationship now. And honestly,
I love that for you.
Shout out to my mama. Yeah, my mama is taking me to Jamaica for my birthday. Like, shout out to my mama. I have nothing to bash her about because I want to go to Jamaica. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But
I should use her for the trip. No,
I gotta go. But no, so I think that in the Black community, I think that we should try to do a better job just as to forgive our parents because we are all human and no parent comes with a book. There's advice. And I think that as parents though, and I'm not one,
y'all
but
gotta learn how to say sorry.
Yes, y'all definitely have to learn how to say sorry.
Easy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I acknowledge you. I hear you. Like it's literally those 3 words can change the conversation.
It really does. That's all it takes. I don't know why that is so hard for Black moms. Like, I love us, but oh my God,
please
like,
just
apologize.
say sorry. Like, just say sorry to me and like don't flip it. Don't flip it and be like, I'm such a good mom. I ain't saying that you're a bad one.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is in this moment, I need
hurt
you
my
to,
feelings.
yeah, and I need you to apologize. And we can't move past it until you do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, and that's what was healthy for me and my mama. Some of y'all, you included, some of y'all might need to go see a therapist.
Hey,
sit on the couch.
A therapist. I ain't talked to her in a minute, but I got a therapist.
You might want to hit sis up. You might want to hit her up.
Every time she would get on, she would.
Because not you got mommy and daddy issues.
I don't got daddy issues anymore. Look.
No. You identify. You identify with a couple
All right,
on the list.
fine. I got both.
You got them. But it's
look,
okay.
that's why I'm out here.
Oh my God, we escaped. We escaped from the drama. So,
look, I guarantee you, if you ask a lot of people, they got certain kind of issues that they running from their whole town.
What?
There's a lot of lost souls out here in LA, y'all. Be careful.
They don't call it the city of angels for no reason. They don't call it that for no reason. Like, that ain't nothing like to play around with. But I just want to thank you so much, Ashley, for
Yes,
being
of
my
course.
first guest for Naya at Night. I am your lovely
Congratulations,
host.
by the way. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. I am your lovely host, Naya, and I will be back every other Saturday with a new guest speaking about new tea and new late night connections and new secrets. So y'all stay tuned. Please like, share, and comment, and thank you.
Do.
Right.
Only been a few hours, but it felt like days. Only been days, but it felt like months.